I 25F cheated on my husband 25M with my female coworker. My husband and I have been married for just over 3 years. We married after 9 months of dating. We fell in love fast and everything felt right in the beginning. Now at 3 years, we have had some intense fights, no physical, that have left us feeling lonely and invalidated. He's expressed our marriage as 70 negative experiences and 30 positive experiences, but the quality of the positive ones outweighs the negative ones. I agree with there being more trials than a normal marriage should have. Also note, we are religious and our church believes a marriage is a very sacred union between a man and a woman. Anyways, last month I began feeling this curiosity of wanting to kiss a woman. My coworker who is a lesbian and I would talk about our sex lives with our SOs. She has been in a relationship for 2 years and they live together. I was just very curious about a relationship between 2 women versus a man and a woman. At this time, I wasn't actively curious about being with a woman, just curious in general. And I had no complaints about my sex life. She even recommended an idea that I implemented into my sex life with my husband. Other than talking about that, we also talked about books, movies, regular stuff you talk to people about. My lesbian coworker and I began to talk about our interests about certain things that I didn't know anyone else had. I didn't think anything of it, I felt like I was just making a new friend. Most of these conversations would happen around with other coworkers as well. We bonded over a certain movie that came out and I asked my husband if I could go with her and another coworker of mine. He was fine with that. When we sat in the theater, I was in the middle of them. My lesbian coworker put her hand on my leg while the movie started and I didn't mind it, I thought it was just harmless flirting. I mean, she has a girlfriend and I'm married and she knew that. She also expressed that her girlfriend was open, so I didn't think this was a big deal. Anyways, there were parts in the movie that scared me, so I ended up holding her hand and she would tickle my arm. I started to feel these curiosity feelings after this event. I told my husband, and being the understanding husband that he is, he was fine with me wanting to kiss a girl. I was shocked that he was fine with it. He thought it was hot. I just wanted to see what it felt like, especially after the movies with my coworkers. My husband and I didn't set any terms prior either. My lesbian coworker and I would text about our interests and flirt a little. I showed my husband these texts and he expressed that the flirting part was a little too much. I totally understood and expressed that anything he wasn't comfortable with I would stop. Especially since he was even okay with the idea of me wanting to kiss a girl. So I initially backed off with the texting, but when I would see her at work we would still talk about our interests and whatnot. We then continued to text. Unfortunately, I initiated a lot of the conversations. I couldn't get the idea of kissing her out of my head. She invited me out one afternoon. My husband didn't feel comfortable with me going alone, so I invited the same coworker as the movie. We took my lesbian coworker's car and during the ride she had her hand on my leg, we held hands, and just acted really flirty. When we were at the mall she would put her arm around my waist and continue to flirt. I didn't reject her attempts. It felt good to be this close to someone. Every time we touched, it was like electricity. Pure shock. I craved it. Within reason, my husband texted my other coworker, their friends too, and asked if everything was going okay. My coworker expressed to him that we were being really flirty and it was weird. My husband called me when I was in the car with my lesbian coworker alone. She was dropping me off at my car. He expressed that he's pulling the plug on my curiosity. He felt that there were too many red flags and he didn't feel comfortable with it anymore. He told me I couldn't be alone with her anymore and this relationship we had was over. We got into a fight on the phone. I had him on speaker so my lesbian coworker could hear. He didn't know she could hear him. I just needed her to hear him so she could help me process after the fight was over. When he hung up, I became so upset that he didn't trust me and a lot of the same emotions came up from our fights through the last 3 years. My lesbian coworker was very validating and I felt heard. I was so vulnerable and I had this idea of kissing her for weeks. I had to do it. I leaned in and she first refused, telling me no, this isn't right. I didn't care though, I was so upset. She was there for me and I wanted to fulfill this desire of mine, so I leaned in again and kissed her. We kissed for less than a minute and I left. When I got home, I didn't even think that I cheated. I was just so mad at my husband for making me feel the same way every single fight we have ever had. I went to bed while he was laying on the couch in the other room. He asked me to come and talk to him through text. I was so frustrated that I refused to go. If he wanted to talk, he can come to me. He also refused to come to me, so we just continued to fight through text. During this time, I didn't feel any regret about the kiss. I didn't tell him about it. I didn't consider it as cheating. This ended with us not talking to each other the next day. I planned on going to my coworker's house, the one who came to the movies mall, to sleep there the next night. I went to work, and after I needed to talk to my lesbian coworker about what happened the night before. We met up at a park in the city and I showed her all the texts my husband and I exchanged. Again, she was understanding and validating. She would say and ask things that I wished my husband would say to me. She also expressed her girlfriend feeling threatened by me. So both of us were making our SOs uncomfortable with our relationship. This ended with us talking about the kiss and how we both enjoyed it. We then kissed again at the park. I invited her into my car and we kissed some more and I felt her breast. I was just so curious and I felt emotionally connected with her. Later to learn this is emotionally cheating. Once I left the park, I still didn't feel like I cheated. I was so blind. My husband calls me for the first time after our fight right after I left the park. He asked if I saw my lesbian coworker today and I said no. He then asked if I kissed her and I said fuck you, no I didn't. Turns out the iPad that we share was linked to my phone and he saw all the texts we exchanged that day. He already knew about us meeting up, but I continued to lie. He asked to meet him at his school so we can talk. We then fought for which felt like hours. I still didn't tell him we kissed that day until later. I couldn't take seeing him hurt so bad. I couldn't lie anymore, and he didn't deserve this. Especially from his wife. I finally told him we kissed at the park. He became so angry, yelling, "You fucking cheated on me and you lied," making me feel bad of accusing you. He still didn't know about the kiss in the car the first night and the kiss after the park in the car. I couldn't bear telling him after he blew up the first time. I was so scared. I was scared of losing him and scared of him being impulse and doing something crazy. That same night we ended up sleeping in the same bed at home. I felt like a stranger to him. He cried, I cried, and I went to work the next day and so did he. My lesbian coworker called in sick, so I didn't see her. Later that night my husband and I decided to have an intervention and process every month, event, and fight since the first day of our marriage. It was going very well until the last month. When we got to this last month, he asked me if I kissed her more than once. I hesitated at first, but told him no, we kissed before the park. He immediately got up and said our marriage was over. He left the house and I just froze. I was worried he was going to do something impulsive, so I asked my mom to call him. He came back and processed with my parents and I fell asleep upstairs in their bed. We live in the basement of my parents' home. The next day when I woke up, my mom told me my husband left the state to figure things out. I agreed that this was the best option for us right now. We both needed some space. I didn't reach out to my lesbian coworker during this time. He called me a day later and we began to figure out what happened. I was 100% transparent about every kiss, touch, and conversation we had. He was in pain, but listened without judgment. He expressed that he was going through a big change emotionally, spiritually, physically, and mentally while he was away. He expressed forgiving me over the phone. I felt so undeserving of his forgiveness. He expressed still being in love with me and wanting to make it work. I couldn't believe what I was hearing. I asked him to come home so we can get counseling and he did. My husband asked me to remove my lesbian coworker from my social media and phone. He did allow me to get closure, so I was able to talk to her at work. I told her we can only be coworkers. She agreed. A couple of days later I find out she and her partner ended things and she moved out. We stopped talking about our personal lives and only if it involves work. When he got home I expressed not knowing if I wanted to be married or not. I love him, but I don't know if I'm in love with him. This event has flooded my mind to the point where I have moments of wanting to be free from commitment and also wanting to be with him. We created this life together even if it wasn't all positive. I wanted it. I have put so much of myself into it. At the same time I expressed wanting to be alone because I have no idea who I am as an individual and what I want. I lost myself in this marriage 3 years ago. I lost my sense of identity, and to add more to it, I am now becoming interested in women. I don't know my goals, desires, aspirations. Whenever he asks me a question, all I can give him is I don't know. He expressed being patient and wanting to be there for me as a friend. He sees that I am suffering and having a difficult time with myself. All I know right now is I don't deserve this man. Even though I cheated on him and lied multiple times, he is still here to help me. We still don't know if we are getting divorced or staying together. My heart wants both. What I do know is he loves me more than I can give in return right now. I don't know if I can or can't. I want to, but I don't. He expresses that he is in love with me, and all of our fights never changed that. He wants a clean slate and doesn't judge me for what happened. During this time I also can't stop thinking about my lesbian coworker, being independent and being alone. I have expressed this to my husband. He has let me know he will be my friend no matter what, and he is not a ball and chain. I don't know why I can't commit to him. I want to, but I don't. What should I do? I am so confused and can't make any decisions. I feel horrible, especially since he is being so supportive while I haven't been. I don't know what to do.